So we're 2 nights in, well, one official night in, if you like. We turned up on the Friday. I think I got here sort of mid-afternoon, something like that. I didn't intend to fish on Friday night. I thought it's not worth setting up and everything because we're going to have a draw on the Saturday when the other lads turn up. So half of us were here, I suppose. And then I thought, wow, there's a pond. I've got the rods in the back, I might as well. So I've done a little circuit. Found a place that I like right near the lodge where we was all camping and set out and put the rods out and found a nice little clear spot. Yeah, I think it was 12 wraps out or something, nice and close. Fired a few 18mm cell around it and just thought that'll do, you know, somewhere to get my head down. We had a bit of grub, a couple of beers like you do, a little chat, and then in the morning, probably about 8:30, something like that, I was just sat there having a cup of tea and one of the rods was ripped off. Happy days. Played it in, knew it was a good fish. 44 pounds. I thought that'll do very, very nicely. Obviously, then I wanted that swim. So I left my brolly and my rods and that set up in there, but we had a draw and I thought if I come out first, I'm going to stay where I am. And also I sort of thought it might put some of the other lads off. They might think, oh, I feel a bit sorry for me. Think, oh, he's already set up in there, we won't go in there. Yeah, right. Draws, I am absolutely renowned for being shit at draws. I am terrible. There were 9 people in the draw and I pulled out number 8, which is one better than normal. The first swim to go was the swim I was in. The second, I'd walked round and I'd done a list on my phone of the swims I wanted and the order I wanted them in. The first person out took my choice 1 that I was in. The second person out took my choice 2. The fourth person took my choice 3. Luckily, when it got to 8, my 4th choice, which was here, number 22, was still free. And I'd sort of identified them by walking round and just watching the water for a little bit, only like 10 minutes in each swim. And when I'd come up here, this swim 22, which is the furthest end from where I was, I'd seen a lot of fizzing. There was a lot of fish activity out here. There's some nice weed beds and up against the weed I could see little chuffer trains of bubbles and that coming up. And I really, really fancied this swim. And I couldn't believe that it was still free at the end. But free it was. So here I am in swim 22 and it's been kind to me so far. I've had fish out of it. It's looking good. Now I've got people opposite. We've got a late arrival, if you like, that came last night. It was just setting up opposite. Might change the game a little bit, but there's a lot of free swims on it. There's a lot of areas that aren't being fished. So if I think the swim's dying out, I'll probably wind in, go for a wander around, maybe take a stalking rod, see if I can whip up an opportunity somewhere. But for now, I'm going to sit here, have a nice breakfast, and hopefully get another bite. So, peg 22, what's it all about then? It's actually a really nice little swim. Well, I say little swim, it's quite a commanding swim. There's nobody to my right, I've got two guys opposite, but I'm only fishing close in. A lot of the guys have been in and out with boats and stuff, but I just cast about, English style. And I've got this crescent of weed out here at the sort of back of the swim, and just as it happens, it's grown around the back of a clear spot, and on the left of it is quite rocky, almost like a little gravel bar, and the right hand end of the strip is a lot smoother, probably clay, I would imagine, at a guess. And it's ideal because I'm just fishing out into that sort of ball pen there, surrounded by the weed at the back. It's 30 yards max. So I've got two rods out there, and I've got a rod out towards the fella on the other side there, because most of the bottom is covered in onion weed, and there's a large silty-ish sort of area out there, probably 5 yards further, 35 yards, all in catapult range. So I've literally wound them all up, clipped them up. Two out there, one out there. Spotted a bit of pellet over the top, and like putting 3 or 4 spods of pellet out, and then leaving the spod on the top as a marker, and then get the catapult 18mm cell boilies and just blathering it over the top. I've put quite a lot of bait out, I suppose, so far. I've probably done, well, not a lot, but I've done 6 kilos of boilies and about 5 kilos of pellets, I suppose. So they know it's out there, and you can tell when they get on it because they're fizzing. Not, the left-hand spot, like I say, is hard. You don't get a lot of fizzing on that, but the other 2 spots, you see the bubbles working their way towards the bait. Then you see a big plume come up over the bait, and bang, away it goes. And so far I've had 3 out of here. 1 yesterday evening, 2 this morning, including a great big one of 45 pounds. So it's all going well, very well indeed. I like it, and you get a good view of the rest of the lake. So yeah, all in all, peg 22, love it. He's lovely, well behaved, perfect. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, grand pêche. Told you I was turning French. Happy days.
Yeah, so we're now Monday. We started fishing Saturday. That was not really good for me because I came in the draw as last one. So obvious swims were already taken, had to take this one, but I'm feeling quite confident when I saw it. I have a lot of water, a lot of opportunities to fish. But what I didn't realize is that when I get out with the boat, I only have like 3 foot of water to fish in. So yeah, hot summer also here in France, so the water dropped easily 5 feet. All shallow in front of me, all weed beds. So when I got first out with the rods, I was not really feeling confidence, you know, didn't find good spots. Everything was soft. Yeah, but stick to my approach, looked for it, found a few things to go on, put a bit of bait on it, and I was lucky. First night I was quickly off the mark, had fish of 17 kilos, then quickly followed by a smaller one. And last night again I had a 17 kilo fish, but also a bit of drama. When I was playing that fish, as it's really shallow, it picked up one of my other lines. That line went into the engine of the boat, so it was like, yeah, it was like hell. I had to bit through with my teeth Hydro Tough, so that's already one of our toughest lines. So I didn't have any scissors with me or nothing in the boat, bit it through, put the rest of the line on a small marker, put it in the water to get the line later out. The engine was completely ruined, so I had like the fish in the net with the rod and 1 paddle on my knees in the boat, and I had to to make my way back to the bank, so that was a bit of drama, but at the end all worked well out. Opened the engine, get the line out, get out again with the boat, looked for the marker, got the line out with the rig, so no lines in the water, no drama. So all in the end it took me 2 hours, but we were good. So now I'm thinking of only fishing. There is a 3-rod rule here on the lake, but as it is that shallow and I want to be in the same mess like I was last night, I'm thinking of only fishing 2 rods. So yeah, that's a bit for the moment, but we're only Monday. We're all hoping for that really big fish. There are really big fish in here. So yeah, you never know your luck.
We're into our 4th day here at Lac Baleine. I came out 6th in the draw, and we'd all done a walk round before we started, and I'd noted down some of the swims I really liked, and in the draw the first 3 people that came out picked the first 3 swims that I would have really liked to fish. Because on this sort of lake, when I'm here for a week on these commercials, I really like to have options to my fishing, and so I chose a swim that was more in the open water, pretty much in the middle of the lake where the fish are likely to go past at some point during the week. I stayed there 2 nights. Al was just to my right. He had a nice island with a channel behind it, and he got a few fish there, got some lovely fish and a 40-pound common, which is fantastic. But the rods in open water just weren't moving, so it was time for a move. And each day I'd had a little wander down to this end of the lake where it's really weedy. It's the sort of place where people don't normally like to fish. It's pretty technical fishing, but it feels much more like an English lake, and it's just the sort of fishing I like. I didn't see any fish roll, but Simon and James, who are fishing fair way from here, 200-300 yards from here, they said they'd heard a couple of fish jump, and I did see a small one. So I decided this was a bit of a sort of break or bust sort of thing, give it a go. And also the other thing that I found interesting, down this end of the lake, the water seems to be a bit milky, a bit more coloured, not in any particular area, but it just seems to be it looks like there's some more fish activity here than there is further down the lake. So all those things taken into account, I moved here yesterday, set up, trying to keep I always keep quiet in these situations and try not to fish just in front of the swim. I've got one rod that's fishing about 25-30 yards down the bank to the left, where I can just wade it slightly down and drop it in and throw a few boilies around it. Same to the right, 25-30 yards down the bank. I'm able to wade out to almost the top of the wade, just drop it in, a couple of handfuls of bait around it, walk it back. That's those 2 sorted, and then I've got one pretty much in the middle, about 30 yards out in a nice big clear area. I mean, it looks really weedy, but actually when you use a lead and lead about a bit, most of the little holes in the weed are firm, and it's a clay lake, so you've got a firm bottom. The thing you do notice in some places is, and if I know some guys have tried it with a pole, but you feel it with a lead. You feel the lead down and it can be a little bit soft or a bit firmer, but every now and again you find a bit, you go, oh, that's gravel, that feels like gravel. It's not always gravel, it can be, but it can also be mussels. Now you get the same sort of feel, and that's obviously a bed of food for the carp, and it's a really interesting spot. So that's what I found out in that middle spot there. So the 3rd rod's gone there. Set up yesterday, we had an absolute belter of a storm came through, nearly blew us all away, which was pretty amazing. Everybody had to hold the bivvies down. But after that had passed and the air temperature had cooled a bit, first light this morning, I got a take on this rod down the far margin. I've got a beautiful mirror, 3312. So I'm really pleased with my choice of swim. And in the night there were a couple of fish showed on the far margin, so there's some fish in this area, and I'm really happy to stay here, keep nice and quiet, and hopefully during the week I'll pick out one of the real big ones. My approach when it comes to bait and rigs for this sort of fishing and for my English fishing is to get the fish feeding confidently, so they're going to pick up my bait, and I want my hook bait to represent basically to them another boilie. So if I can, on a hard firm bottom like it is here in the holes in the weed, it's clay, I'm going to fish a wafter which I make with a little pop-up and a normal bottom bait that I cut gently in between the two so they sit nicely together, hook on the bottom, bait just slightly above it, and it just sinks slowly and lies on the bottom like that. Nice long rig, about 10 inches, to allow big fish which might suck at it from a distance to get it into their mouth, rather than a short rig which may hook fish on the outside of the lips, and then you're more likely to they're going to come off. Might not, but that can happen. So when I'm fishing somewhere I've got to give them a load of welly, like here in all this sort of weed, I use a fairly long hook link to make sure the bait goes right in and I get a good hook hold. The only other type of rig that I'll use in this sort of situation is it's like a hinged stiff rig, but it's tied in a slightly different way. And what I've got ultra sink 25 pound right through to a no knot, so that's my main material, and I create the hinge by using the stiff material at the end to create that part. I put it through, make the D, blob it as normal, about 1.5 inch extension, and I attach it at the bottom with a little piece of silicone, so you get the exact same presentation as you would with a hinged stiff rig. You can swivel in all directions, but you've got the main braided line going straight through to the knot. Really, they're the only two rigs that I'll use in this sort of situation. I don't go more complicated than that. I'm so confident with that. That's what I'm going to use.
Hello everybody, it's day 4 by now. It's been really tough fishing. First day I spent a lot of time finding some clear spots in the area. At the left side there's a lot of weed, bottom weed, high weed, mid weeds, all sort kinds of. Just found 2 beautiful clear areas, a bit deeper, rock solid, grind, gravel, all stuff on it. Fished those areas, really small baiting that stuff, but didn't work out. So last day after the barbecue we had, I baited a lot. So it's like 6 pounds each rod. And well, this afternoon Simon arrived and he was like, hey, do you want to do some footage with me? And just the rod that was in one of those holes ripped off, and yeah, first fish on the border. Very good looking mirror, just under 40 pounds or just up, I don't know, Belgium guy. But really strong fish, short, high, very wide fish. Took every opportunity to get it stuck in the weeds, but just kept strong, and after a few minutes could land them. Very happy with this first fish, and hopefully I can catch a few more. Beautiful French mirror, as wide, as high and as long as he is. Very strong fish. Caught in the middle of the weeds. Talon tips, just keep him tight. Very happy, first fish of the season. Come on, let's go for a second.
Alors, je suis très content d'être arrivé ici. On est au social de Gardner. Je suis venu avant tout pour rencontrer toute l'équipe, parce que c'est un réel plaisir aussi de côtoyer des gens et de rencontrer John. Donc, je suis arrivé jeudi.
So Cyril's just saying he's really pleased to be here at the Gardner Social. He wants to meet everybody, have a good time for a couple of nights, last couple of nights, and hopefully catch a few fish.
Alors, quand je suis arrivé, très rapidement, j'ai fait le tour pour rencontrer les autres pêcheurs, prendre quelques informations. Ces informations m'ont conduit sur la partie de l'étang qui est la moins large, puisque visiblement les poissons sont concentrés à cet endroit.
Yeah, when he arrived, he went around, met everybody and talked to everybody, see how the fishing's going, and after having a good look round, he decided that this little quiet corner of the lake, little channel, might be a good place to start.
Donc j'ai déjà entamé une première nuit qui s'est montrée stérile.
I've just fished one night. I didn't catch anything. There were a few fish caught elsewhere, but
Et donc pour passer le temps, la journée, je pêche un peu à la mouche. J'ai d'ailleurs loupé un brochet ce matin, mon premier. Dommage.
yeah, he likes to pass his time when there's not much happening with a fly rod, trying to catch some perch or pike. There was actually a big pike under his boat that he managed to hook, and unfortunately he lost it, but he likes to pass his time doing that.
Et donc je croise les doigts pour la dernière nuit, en espérant que ça aille mieux que la première.
Yeah, he's going to cross his fingers for this last night, and hopefully he'll catch fish tonight to show you tomorrow morning.
So I'm sat here now with Peter, owner of Lac Baleine and Salisbury at CarpeVivre.com. Martin had to go home, your business partner. He left this morning, but I'm sitting here with Pete now. And well, one, thank you for letting us fish the lakes, mate. We've had some great fish. We've had a blooming good time as well, actually. You had some lovely barbecues. You've got a great barbecue area. You got this lake around, I think it was January you picked it up, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was beginning of the year. So we did a bit of a deal at the beginning, and then I've been out here since February.
Yeah.
Getting ourselves out of the winter. I mean, to be fair, they were great lakes anyway.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get it out there, basically.
Yeah. And your other lake is Salisbury as well. So if you go on the Carpe Vivre website that you'll find at the end of this video, you can go on there and have a good look. And you've got Salisbury as well, Lake Salisbury, a smaller venue, very intimate. You've got, again, all the facilities there. All the facilities there. You've got electric, mains and everything.
Yeah, toilets, showers, electrics. Yeah, there's a lodge over there now as well, which we've handed over to the anglers. So that's part of the package with the lodge, anglers lodge, fireplace, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's nice.
And you said to me as well in one point this week, because I came out here earlier in the year with my son, and I think between us we had over 50 bites, and it was fantastic. But you did mention something about you're going to be doing winter tickets on the venues as well, possibly.
Yeah. So we're doing a winter ticket between the two lakes. So this is starting from this year, but obviously we're trying to get the lakes going. So if anybody is interested in a winter ticket, then give us a call.
And your number's on the website there as well.
On the website, it's my personal number. So only for lake interest only. So obviously. But yeah, the number's on the website. Email addresses, everything's on there as well. So
good.
Yeah, give us a call.
Yeah, and the beauty of this place as well, guys, is about 3 hours, 20 minutes from Calais. It's not a monster drive at all. It's very easily done. And like I said, you've got all the facilities around it and all the amenities as well. So just from Baleine, where we fished this week, it's literally a 5-minute drive down to Leclerc, and you've got absolutely everything you want in there. And like I say, it's a fantastic venue. We're going to try and get back to Salisbury next year and do a video on there, mate, and try and give that a good whack. So if you want to come out and visit these lakes, which I advise you really do, look at the links on the end, give Peter a call and get booked up, because it's a fantastic one. So Pete, thank you so much for letting us come out, mate. It's been brilliant, and we'll see you again soon, all right?